Hello and welcome to Season 2 of Crit Corner. My name's Sherwood and I'm here to bring you another action-packed bunch of videos with tips and tricks all about Criterium racing. So let's dive right into things with a lap of the course. We are at Race the Ridge, classic British Columbia race. Nice day for it here today. Long straightaway for the start-finish. Bit of opportunity to move up along this straightaway if you're willing to put your nose in the wind, but this is where I make up most of my spots in the race. Through these first two corners. They're big, wide open, lots of room. If the groups bunch up whatsoever, you can make up 20 wheels in one move. Leads us on to this backside straightaway. This is a nice section. You get a little bit of shelter from the wind. I don't think you're going to gain a lot of wheels here. If you're moving up hard, you might gain one or two. But really, this section is about setting yourself up for the fun part, this chicane. This is great to rail later in the race and also tactically very important because you aren't able to gain much ground out of them. One or two wheels is the most you're going to get from here to the end of the race. On this straightaway, it's again about setting yourself up, staying protected, not going too hard out of that corner into the 180. This is a nice gentle 180. You can take it at speed. You don't have to touch your brakes at all, but you're not going to be able to pedal until you're right at the end of it. Now we're back onto the start-finish stretch. You want to be in the top three wheels coming out of that corner if you want to have any chance at winning a preem or a sprint here. It's very challenging to pass riders in the final stretch. So we're a few laps into the race. I'm going to try and get up to the front here. This is sticking your nose in the wind, burning some matches, but I'm working for my teammate, so it's time to use those matches to our team's advantage, not just protecting myself. So I use the momentum of sprinting out of that corner to keep pushing and cruise past a ton of people and get into these top riders. Smart Savvy, the team up in front here, is controlling the race. They want to keep it hard and fast, at least through the beginning, to prevent breakaways, to prevent attacks, because those attacks are things that the competing teams are going to use to our advantage to help us not have to do more work. Setup here, great opportunity to talk about the setup of the race. Nigel on my team is once again the GC leader for the race, so we're really protecting him, and one of the ways that we're going to protect him is by getting off the front and forcing other teams to do work. We can play our tactics right, get it down to a sprint, Nigel won't have done any work, and he'll have the most energy to win at the end. So not much has happened here. Smart Savvy's still up front controlling the race, but you can tell how far back I've slipped in the field, just being a little bit too relaxed. It's very loose back here. There's lots of room between riders, which is great if you're tail gunning. There's lots of opportunity to maintain your momentum and take corners quickly. But if your job is to be doing work in the race, this is the wrong end to be at. So now it's time for me to start moving up to contribute. Now, as I talked about earlier, you can pick up one, maybe two wheels coming out of this corner if you can take it more aggressively and accelerate hard. But that's not going to get you to the front of the field. You're going to use a lot of energy to gain one or two wheels and lose them again. So once again, I'm going to burn a bunch of matches and try and get some spaces up in the field. I think this is my best bang for the buck at this moment. I need to be up front, and so by drilling it really hard along this straightaway, maintaining a lot of speed coming into this last corner, I can pass a ton of people and keep passing people through the corner because I'm not having to slow down for others. I got a nice wide line, feel safe, and again, same thing coming through this corner, try and get myself one or two more wheels coming out of it, and slot in nice and comfy up front. So now I'm back at the front where the meaningful stuff is happening. And I'm watching here and notice Al Murrison going up on the left-hand side hard into the corner. I come out of the corner, get on the gear. I want to follow him. I want to see if I can get with him. And then if we can stay away, we can make some of the other teams do work to chase us down. Al is also a threat on the GC, so I want to keep him under control. Now remember what I said about not being able to pedal too early out of this corner? It's a dangerous move. Getting a little bit too eager, you end up sacrificing all that work you put into a move. So that little move with Al got caught fairly quickly, and now I'm back in the main field, slipped a little bit further back than I would have liked. Always take advantage of a free ride whenever the opportunity presents itself. You never know when you don't want to be making those wheels back up on your own. So there's a little gap up the road. I'm I'm towards the front. I'm going to take the opportunity to try and bridge up to it. We don't have any team representation there, and in a race like this, we always want to have someone up there. Not only is it insurance that the people behind us are going to be forced to chase and not my team, but it also is insurance that if the break doesn't get caught, one of us is there to at least scoop up a podium position and not have no result whatsoever. But as with most of these moves, we do end up getting caught. Now, when you're getting caught and you've just been in a big move, try not and go all the way through the field and out the back. You're going to do a lot more work dealing with the yo-yo at the back end of the field than you are if you can just sit in those top 10 wheels and slowly filter your way back and get a chance to recover. Something that many people overlook in racing is communication. Make sure your teammates know what's going on so that they can make good, sound, tactical decisions.
Nigel up there?
No, Nigel's here. That's Wilson.
So I'm just giving Dylan some information. Nigel, we're protecting. Wilson being up there is good for us. Here's an attack that falls into the sheer dumb luck category. I started my attack just before the line, and as I crossed it, that's where I heard the preem bell going. And that's when I realized I had to get this to stick. Race the Ridge is an Omnium event, and so as a result, each of those preems, those points, can contribute significantly to the end result of the race. Either Nigel has to scoop those up to solidify his lead, or one of us needs to get those points to make it harder for someone else to beat him on results alone. You know, they always say don't look back, but I have to say I was looking back a lot through this lap because I wanted to know exactly how hard I needed to go. I didn't want to burn myself out for the rest of the race, and I didn't want to lose the opportunity to get a preem and secure that victory. But it did work out in the end. I secured the preem. Now I'm just sitting up, relaxing a little bit. I know the field's super close. I'm not going to stick this breakaway, just got to let him catch me. So one of the things you learn in racing is how to read riders' body language, and the RMCC guy on the right-hand side, I can tell he's going to go for a move, so I start to get towards the front. I think maybe my teammate's going to go after it, but then I decide that no, it's got to be me. So I try and make this bridge. Now this section of the course doesn't have a ton of control, and so you have to watch out for people periodically, and it really comes to fruition here. Third guy, Mitch from Smart Savvy, made his way into the breakaway. All right, I'm feeling good about this. We can work together and hold it for a bit. 2 laps in a row for this crosswalk. So we've been rolling good in the break for a little bit, and I think it was called a little bit early, but see 3 laps to go. So I have to do some quick breakaway mental math, and the choice here is, do we go hard and do I try to get the win out of this breakaway, or do I want to get caught by the main field to ensure Nigel gets the win? Now I'm definitely leaning on the second side because Nigel's win means a GC win for us, which is good. So in order to ensure that we got caught by the field, a couple things I started doing. 1, skip a pull once in a while. You know, first of all, that gets me a little bit rest in case we don't get caught to make sure I can still compete for the sprint. B, makes them have to work a little bit harder. The other thing I'm going to do is not pull through as hard. You know, I'll still go to the front, but I'm not going to pull through with all my might. Now Mitch has another tactic to play. I think he was thinking, well, I don't think I can win out of this breakaway, so I'd better get rid of this breakaway. And he put in a big dig here, and just with good cornering and hard power, I couldn't keep up with him anymore. So now I knew the break was over, and I needed to let it come back together. And there we are, getting swarmed with the bell ringing in the background. I basically sat up at this point. My race is over. I am exhausted. Let it play out how it needs to play out up front. Fingers crossed that Nigel's going to do well. I may be rolling across the finish line way off the back, but I did my job. Nigel ended up coming second in the sprint, winning the GC overall. Al Murrison won the day and came second in the GC. It was a lot of fun racing with them. Big thanks to Local Ride Racing, Maple Ridge for putting on a great event. Looking forward to next year. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm excited to do a whole other season of these. If there's some tactics or information or something you'd like to see in these videos, please let me know. Thanks again. Have a great race.